I think Phoebe's been missing her starring role a little bit, so I'm giving her another chance to shine this afternoon. We've got another video here from Ecuador, the trip I made with Emily late October 2024. This is the little bit of time we stayed at the Bellavista Cloud Forest Lodge. We were just there one night, but we still saw a lot of stuff. And we revisited that from the first trip I made with Gail because it just strikes me as really special. And even at that, we probably didn't spend enough time there. But you'll see. We saw some good stuff. Enjoy. Bellavista Cloud Forest Lodge is located in the Tanagers area of Ecuador, which is about 50 miles west of Quito. It's named Cloud Forest Lodge for good reason, as it's definitely in the cloud forest. One of the first birds we were able to get our eyes on at Bellavista was the blue-winged mountain tanager. I'd seen those on my previous trip with Gail here, but they're a lovely bird, and I'm glad Emily got the chance to see them as well. They're probably the most common tanager here. While we're on the subject of tanagers, here's a flame-faced tanager examining an unused feeder. We'd seen these at Mashpee, but there were plenty here as well. Interestingly enough, when Gail and I had come in the month of February, we hadn't seen any of these here. This gold-naped tanager showed very well also. I should mention most of this video is pictures, not video clips, as the birds darted in and out of the cover so quickly. Here's a nice shot of a montane woodcreeper, the most common one at Bellavista. Here's another bird digging food out of the tree bark, a pearled tree runner. The group had seen them on the trip I made with Gail, but I had not, so I was really happy to see it this time. Even though it kept trying to hide. Emily finally got the best picture of it. I guess I'm starting off with the skulky birds this time, as this is a black-eared hemisphingus hiding in the leaves. Another sphingus bird, the dusky coral sphingus. This was once called the dusky bush tanager, which almost seems a little more accurate to me. Finally, a bird that's not hiding, the cinnamon flycatcher. There were a lot of these cute little guys around. Here's one I'm not sure Emily and I ever agreed on. I think it's a cinnamon becard. She thinks it might be a female one-colored becard. The photos of those look awfully similar on eBird and other sites. This is a female masked trogon, very similar to the collared trogons we saw at Mashpee, but their ranges differ by elevation. They don't overlap. This is a collared inca, one of the main birds I wanted to see on this trip. Notice the white on its tail. That separates it from some other birds. We'll get into it in a little bit. Here's another cute little hummingbird, the buff-tailed coronet. We did not see as many of those on this trip as Gail and I did previously, but I still got a photo of one. Another interesting little hummingbird, the gorgeted sun angel. Notice the thin white band under his purple gorget. Here's a photo Emily got of a little troublemaking hummingbird that's got my brain in a scramble, the white-throated daggerbill. This is likely a female, but maybe an immature male. It looks immature from the speckling on its chest. So here's the question bird. It's not an Inca, The bill's too short, no white on the tail. The white on its neck/throat looks too big for the gorgeted sun angel, but is that right for the white-throated daggerbill? Looks maybe a little small. This bird, too, looks more like the previous bird than it does like the gorgeted sun angels I showed earlier. It's not an Inca, though. Very confusing. I'm easily confused, I guess. Another confusing one, but I think we've got it this time. A white-sided flower piercer caught in the act of piercing a flower. Gail and I had seen both masked and glossy flower piercers at this location previously, but we didn't see those this trip. At least not here. Okay, back to the skulkers. Look just under that yellow flower in the center. Okay, now it's just to the right of that stick. Here it is, the best we could do, the chestnut-capped brush finch. Cute little bird, but hard to get out in the open. His cousin here was practically in the same spot, a little farther down. It's a white-winged brush finch. You can see a little white wing marking in that second photo. And here's the most cooperative of the brush finches, at least for us, the tri-colored brush finch. It looks like they may be changing the name to choco brush finch, which I'm not sure I understand the point of that. Maybe it's a split with one in some other area. Finally, a little video of one of these skulkers, the gray-breasted wood wren. Like wrens in the States, you can hear their loud singing, but they're skulkers too. Even though its gray breast is not real obvious in this photo, you can still see it better than crawling around in the leaf litter. This one didn't skulk. It's the golden-bellied flycatcher. Close in size to a great kiskadee, bigger than the social flycatchers. Emily managed to catch one of the underside of this scaly-throated foliage gleaner. You can catch its scaly throat and scaly breast. Here's another one we saw at Mashpee, the smoky brown woodpecker. Much better views here, though. This is one I really wanted to photograph, although this photograph is Emily's. I'd seen it pretty well on my first trip to Ecuador with Gail, but no photographs. So even that last photograph isn't the best. You can still see its red face, the red-faced spine-tail. As at Mashpee, there were lots of these little guys flitting around, the slate-throated redstart. There's also a cute little warbler that lives at Bellavista, the russet-crowned warbler. You can barely tell it's got a russet crown on this photo. I've got a better photo from my previous trip that I'll pop in just to show it. Emily was faster and better at capturing these little guys than I was up in the treetops. This is a black-capped tyrannolet. Lots of tyrannolettes in Ecuador. Another cute little guy we saw several of, a brown-capped vireo. One of the little guys that I was able to capture, a white-tailed tyrannolet. It's a little fuzzy, but it is hiding behind a leaf, so. In the evening, one of the guides carried us up a trail away from the lodge, but the cloud forest was beginning to drop around us. We got this poor look of a glossy black thrush. He's a little smaller and a little blacker than the great thrushes. Emily captured a shot of this plain-tailed wren. I never even saw it. This white-throated quail dove was hanging out on a compost pile. He flew up and gave us a little better look, but still through the clouds and the darkening sky, not the best photo I've ever taken. If I thought that was difficult, here's one that was even harder. Up at the top of a tree, pretty far, was a green and black fruit eater. I really wanted to see a fruit eater, though. I'm glad I got a photo of him, even if it's not spectacular. We heard and saw the shadows of quetzals flying overhead, crested quetzals mostly. And then in the distance we saw this shadowy common patoo. Okay, this one's cheating a little bit. It's a plate-billed mountain toucan that Gail and I saw in 2023. We saw a pair of them quite well. I just wanted to let you know they're at Bellavista. Maybe you'll get lucky like we did in 2023 and you'll see them. Hopefully, Emily and I still will have an opportunity. I hope this video gave you a good idea of the birds you can see at the Bellavista Cloud Forest Lodge. Emily and I really enjoyed it. There's a lot to see there. Check out the long list on eBird. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'm going to post every Monday in 2025 if I can. Thanks for watching.